Hello students. So in the last class we have studied about electrical resistance and our topic for today is temperature dependence of resistance or resistivity. This is a very important topic, girls, from the point of view of both in boards the derivation is asked and in your competitive exams questions based on this are mostly asked, frequently asked. So before jumping on to the topic, let's revise quickly. We've studied the relation between current I and the velocity Vd is I is equals to VE We know Vd is equals to E tau by n. E is V by L, so substituting for E, I is equals to E V tau ENA by NL. So we get I is equals to NE squared tau A by NL into V. Taking these terms on the opposite side, we get P is equals to ML upon NE squared tau A into I. So we know the relation that P is directly proportional to I, and we write V equals to Ri, removing the proportionality sign. So we get R is equals to this. V is equals to Ri. So R is ML upon NE squared tau A. This is very important, girls. Resistance is given by ml upon ne square tau A, and we discussed in the last class that mass of the charge, number of charge electrons per unit volume, that is charge density, charge on an electron, and relaxation time, length and area being constant, the resistance of a particular length of a conductor or any material is constant. And we also know the relationship that R is equals to rho L by A. So from here we get this R is equals to rho L by A. So rho is equals to M upon NE squared tau, comparing. So we have these two very important relationships, that R is equals to ML upon NE squared tau A and rho is M upon NE squared tau. Based on these two relations, we will now study the temperature dependence of resistance on or resistivity. Okay? So, our study of temperature dependence of resistance or resistivity will start from here. The relation for R is ML upon NE squared tau A and rho is M upon NE squared tau. Now, we will divide our study into three parts, that is for conductors and for semiconductors and alloys. Okay. Now talking about conductors, conductors are obviously good conductors of electricity, and in conductors we know the resistance of conductors is low. And if you consider a fixed length and cross-sectional area of a conductor, then its electron density, that is N, will be fixed for a particular temperature. Remember, we state Ohm's law for fixed temperature and pressure. That means external conditions remaining constant. That is, when temperature is constant, V is directly proportional to I, or R is constant. Here we are talking about temperature dependence of resistance. That means what will happen if we increase the temperature, or if we decrease the temperature, then how will the resistance get affected? So, talking about resistance for increase in temperature. If you increase the temperature, then what will happen? That this tau will decrease. What is tau? Tau is the relaxation time. Why tau will decrease? Because at a particular temperature, or at normal temperature, at room temperature, because of thermal energy, the electrons, the free electrons in the conductor, they keep colliding with each other. And the relaxation time is the time between two successive collisions. Okay, and average relaxation time is the relaxation time for all the charge carriers. So when you increase the temperature, then what will happen? That the collisions will take place more rapidly. They will start colliding, the electrons, because of increasing temperature, the electrons will start colliding more, and since the collisions will increase, the time in between successive collisions will decrease. That is why tau will decrease. So when tau decreases, what will happen? Since R is inversely proportional to tau and rho is also inversely proportional to tau, so for conductors, R will increase when tau will decrease. Okay? When temperature increases, we are talking about when we increase the temperature, what will happen to relaxation time? Tau, it will decrease, and since tau decreases, R will increase. Similarly, resistivity will also increase, and because tau decreases. Now talking about other quantities, other terms here. What about m, girls? M is mass of an electron, so it will be constant. We are considering length and area of cross section constant. Then E charge will remain constant. What about N? N is free charge density. When you increase the temperature, then free charge carriers also increase. That means more free electrons are available at higher temperature. But for conductors, girls, for conductors, this increase in N is negligible. Why? Why it is negligible? Because at room temperature only, conductors have infinite charge density. That means the charge density N is approximately equal to 10 to the power 29. Can you imagine 10 to the power 29 is approximately equal to infinity only. So at room temperature only, the free charge density of good conductors is very high. So when you increase the temperature, surely N will increase, the number of free electrons available will increase, but adding 1000 or 1000 or 100 or 200 to infinity will not have much influence on infinity. That means increase in N will not have that much effect on resistance as decrease in tau will have. So finally, tau decreases for conductors and hence the resistance increases. Okay. So for good conductors, when you increase the temperature, the relaxation time decreases. That is why resistance increases and resistivity increases. Okay. When we talk about semiconductors, then what happens in semiconductors? Also, when you increase the temperature, the relaxation time will decrease. Okay, that will happen with semiconductors also. But what are semiconductors, children? Semiconductors are at room temperature which do not conduct. Okay, by doping they are made to conduct. That means what is their valency? It is 4. Okay, so when you increase the temperature, tau will decrease. But here, when we consider N, free charge density, that is quite more, because in semiconductors at room temperature, free charge density is approximately equal to 0. There are no free electrons available at room temperature. And as soon as you increase the temperature, then the available free electrons increases rapidly. So here, the ultimate effect on resistance will not be of decrease in tau, but it will be of increase in N. Okay, so here N increases. Okay, N increases, that is why the resistivity will decrease. Okay, increase in N is here now significant. So remember, N increases, which is significant over here, and tau, decrease in tau is negligible. Okay, that is why since N increases, resistivity decreases and resistance decreases. So resistance will decrease and resistivity will also decrease. And when we talk about alloys, since alloys are made out of different materials, different metals combined together, in alloys there is generally no effect of increase in temperature. Okay, alloys have no effect of increase in temperature. Okay, 8. So we have studied that for conductors, when temperature increases, resistance decreases. Okay, and tau decreases, so resistance increases. Okay, and for semiconductors, when temperature increases, resistance decreases, because what happened here? Let us write tau decreases, here N increases, and for alloys, when temperature increases, there is no effect. If we want to plot resistance or resistivity versus temperature on a graph, then for conductors, when temperature increases, resistance increases. Okay, it's quite a linear dependence. This is the graph for resistance or resistivity versus temperature for conductors. For semiconductors, resistance versus resistance or resistivity versus temperature will be a this downside parabola, because when temperature increases, resistance goes on decreasing, and for alloys the relation is no effect. So initially there is a slight, very slight increase in resistance with increase in temperature like conductors, but it's a very slight increase. So it's kind of flat, kind of constant only. Okay, there's a slight, very slight increase in temperature for increase in resistance for increase in temperature, but it is considered to be at very high temperatures. Otherwise, it is kind of constant only. So these graphs are important. They can be asked in objectives. So now we will derive the expression for temperature coefficient of resistance or coefficient of thermal resistance. This is the topic from where you will get the questions. Okay, now if we consider a conductor, or since we are defining it for resistance, coefficient of resistance, we generally define it for alloys, because now we know that with increase in temperature, the resistance and resistivity of which material doesn't change? Right, alloys, because for conductors resistivity or resistance increases, and for semiconductors the resistivity decreases. For alloys the resistance remains stable. Okay, so when we consider an alloy of a particular cross-section area and length, and for its resistance will be let us say R0, okay, for a particular length and cross-section area. If at temperature T0, okay, initial temperature is T0, at that temperature we are considering an alloy of particular length and cross-section area like this. Okay, this is the cross-section area and this is the length. Okay, now if you increase the temperature, by dt, okay, you increase the temperature by dt, obviously the resistance will increase by dr. Say the resistance is increasing by dr. So the new resistance, let us say R dash, is equals to initial resistance plus the change in resistance. This is for the final temperature will be the initial temperature plus the change in temperature. Okay, T0 plus dt. Right. Now it was observed that this change in resistance dr is directly proportional to the initial resistance R0, and dr is directly proportional to the change in resistance, change in temperature dt. Okay, the more you change the temperature, the more is the change in resistance, and the change in resistance is directly proportional to the initial resistance. So combining these two, we can write dr is directly proportional to R0 dt. Okay, removing the proportionality sign, we can write dr is equals to alpha R0 dt. Mark here, this is proportionality sign and this is alpha, where alpha is coefficient of thermal resistance. Okay, coefficient of thermal resistance. This will tell you that how much is, if alpha for a particular material is more, then its change in resistance the change in temperature is more. If alpha is less, then its change in resistance, the change in temperature is less. That means alpha gives you the dependence of resistance on the temperature. So we have to derive the expression for alpha over here. Okay. So we have dr is alpha r naught dt. So this is the small change in resistance for small change in temperature dt. So for total change in temperature, that is from T naught to T dash, what will be the change in resistance? So we can integrating both sides. We get integration of dr is integration of alpha r naught dt. Okay. We will integrate dr from initial resistance to final resistance, and will integrate the change in temperature from initial temperature to final temperature. Okay, we can write it as T dash and this is R dash also. Okay, so integration of dr will be R from R naught to R final will be equals to alpha, and R naught will be constant. Children, alpha is also dependent on temperature, but for 99% cases we take alpha as constant or independent of temperature. That's why we're taking alpha out of the integration sign. If you come across any question where alpha is given dependent on temperature, then you take the question from here. Okay, then you will have to integrate alpha also, because it is temperature dependent, and its dependence, its relation with temperature will be given. Okay, so integration of dt will be T, that is from T naught to T final. Okay, so R final minus R initial is equals to alpha R naught T final minus T initial. Okay, and we can write R final is equals to R naught, taking R naught that side, R naught plus alpha R naught T final minus T initial. Okay, so here R naught is common, taking R naught outside, 1 plus alpha T final minus T initial. T final minus T initial can be written as T final minus T initial can be written as change in temperature. Okay, so final resistance can be written as initial resistance into 1 plus alpha delta T. Okay, this is an important relation for the final resistance with increasing temperature. Okay, so here this expression I have to remember, and since R is equals to rho L by A, we can write for R final rho, because rho will not change, girls. Rho will be same because material we are not changing. What we are changing is the temperature. So rho L by A, rho final is equals to rho initial L by A 1 plus alpha delta T. Okay, so length and cross-sectional area remaining same, we get rho final is equals to rho initial 1 plus alpha delta T. This is easy to remember because it's same for resistance. Either you remember for resistance or for resistivity. R final is R initial 1 plus alpha delta T. So we have R final is R naught into 1 plus alpha delta T, expanding. R final is R naught plus R naught alpha delta T, taking R naught this side. R final minus R naught upon R naught delta T is alpha. And since rho is directly proportional to R resistance, we can directly write for rho also. Alpha is rho final minus rho initial upon rho initial delta T. So this is the expression for coefficient of thermal resistance. This is very important, children. Coefficient of thermal resistance gives you an idea of the temperature dependence of resistance or resistivity of a material. Okay, let's see some numericals. The question says the resistance of a heating element at room temperature is 27 degrees. At room temperature is given as 27 degrees Celsius is 100 ohm. At what temperature its resistance will be 117 ohm if alpha, that is coefficient of thermal resistance, is given as 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4 degrees Celsius inverse. What all is given, children? Initial temperature R0 is 27 degrees Celsius and final temperature we have to find, we don't know, okay. Final resistance is 1.7 ohm, initial resistance is 100 ohm, okay. Initial temperature is 27 degrees Celsius and final temperature we have to find, right? And alpha is given as 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4 degrees Celsius inverse. So we have to find the final temperature. We know alpha is R final minus R initial upon R initial delta T or R naught, whatever you can write. So taking delta T up, we can write change in temperature is R final. What is R final is? We can substitute also directly 117 minus 100 upon R initial, that is 100 into alpha, that is 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay, so delta T is equals to 117 minus 100 will be 70 upon 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 10 to the power 2 will be 10 to the power minus 2, right? So this 1.7 will go up, that will be 170 and 170 and this will be 10 and 10 to the power minus 2 will go up, so that will be 10 to the power 2. So delta T is 10 to the power 3, okay, that is 1000. Okay, now what is delta T? Final temperature minus initial temperature is 1000. Final temperature we have to find, that is initial temperature, you take that side, initial temperature was 27 plus 1000, so final temperature is 1027 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the next question is, the resistance of a platinum wire is 50 ohm at ice point and 5.5 ohm at steam point. Find the temperature at which resistance is 5.8 ohm. So this is a comparative question and the resistance is 50 ohm at ice point. That means at 0 degrees Celsius the resistance is 50 ohm, and at steam point, that means at 100 degrees Celsius the resistance is 5.5 ohm. Okay, so here change in resistance and change in temperature is given. We have to find 5.8 ohm will be for what temperature. Okay, at what temperature will be the resistance 5.8 ohm. So first, using this data we can find alpha is equals to R final minus R initial upon R initial delta T. Okay, so R final minus R initial, it's not 50 ohm, sorry, it's 5 ohm. Okay, so R final minus R initial will be 5.5 minus 5 upon 5 into delta T will be 100 minus 0, that will be 100. Okay, so alpha will be equals to 5.5 minus 5 will be 0.5 upon 5 into 10 to the power 2. This will be 1 upon 10 to the power 3. That will be alpha will be equals to 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, alpha is 10 to the power minus 3 degrees Celsius inverse. So now we have alpha, we can find for 5.8 ohm, right? We can find for the no rising temperature. So now considering Initial resistance you can take as 5 ohm. Final resistance you can take as 5.8 ohm. Initial temperature for 5 ohm was 0 degree Celsius. Final temperature you have to find. Okay. So again we have delta T is equals to delta R upon R initial alpha. Taking this up and this down. So delta T will be equals to T final minus 0. Delta R will be 5.8 minus 5 upon 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. That is alpha. Okay. So final temperature will be equals to 5.8 minus 5 is 0.8 divided by 5 into 10 to the power 3 will be equals to 8 by 50 is 16 into 10 to the power 2, 1.6. Okay, so 1600 degree Celsius is the final temperature. Okay, guys. Very okay, 1.6 into 10 to the power 2, that is 160 degrees Celsius. So the final temperature will be 160 degrees Celsius.